Welcome everyone to Character Fight Night Recharge!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Character Fight Night Recharged, the show where your favorite fictional characters battle head-to-head in stipulation-style combat. My name is Josh, and joining me at the desk, as always, is Jim.
What's up, everybody? Good to be back.
What's up?
What's up? How's it going? What's up, guy?
And Carson.
I always panic at that this point. I don't know what to. Hi, hello, it's me.
I'm like, hey, what's up, Carson? You're like,
Hey.
I'm not happy to be here.
On this podcast. I didn't know I was gonna have to say stuff.
Who knew they were going to ask me?
This is not nerd content.
I don't want to be the correct guy, like the guy who corrects things. I'm changing my persona on this episode to the bad boy. If you guys say something wrong, I'm gonna be like, I don't care.
He's like, you know what? Gryffindor is a Griffin.
You can't watch the actually like persona. That's with you for life.
Well, luckily, I don't know much about either of these characters. So.
Good.
He's gonna be the ringer.
So, joining us tonight is a very special guest, Sean.
I was going to see
really
how long
good
you
at
hung
introduction.
Sean.
Yeah. Sean, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Very excited. We got a great fight tonight. Two extremely strong female characters.
Yeah, depends on how you classify Sheik, but
I got an argument for that, right?
Right off the bat, right?
yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally know what's going on.
He's like, Sheik, leader of that.
The wrestler.
Yeah. So, funny enough, we didn't plan this, but last time was on. We also had two female characters fighting: River Tam and Lila.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Wow, I was there for that episode.
Yeah, you were there for most of them.
This is your podcast, man.
I was like, just
Welcome for remembering. This is a unique time.
No. At the time, at that time, I was like, I wasn't on the show fully yet, but I was back and forth.
I love that. So not only do we have a female, protagonist character match, it's also going to be done in zero gravity.
Dun, dun, dun.
So
I was like, how do I?
For anybody who doesn't know what that means without gravity.
That means there's zero.
So,
you guys believe in gravity?
Yeah. It means gravity. There is zero of it.
So that's going to be really interesting to see how these characters. I kind of imagine it like, not to give anything away from the fight, but like swimming towards each other, slapping a little bit, and then drifting away, and then
That's kind of what it's gonna. I'm sure we'll get into it, some fun zero gravity mechanics.
So, but if your favorite part of the show is the weigh-in, then boy, do I have a treat for you. Because right now, we're going to weigh in our competitors, give a little background on them, and go from there. And to do that, our brand new announcer, John, is standing by at the weigh station to weigh in our competitors. Take it away.
Stepping up to the scale, Sheik. Sheik weighs in at 93 pounds, standing 5 feet 7 inches tall.
All right, yeah. First off, on the scale, kind of, not trying to float away, we have Sheik, who is a Hyrule warrior, part of the Sheikah race, who is a ninja race in the Hyrule world.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Really? It's Princess Zelda. Our lovely Princess Zelda in disguise. I'm sorry for spoiling a game that came out in
1998.
1998.
Wow, that was only 1 year after the release of the first Harry Potter book.
Yeah, good year for games.
Name one other.
No, he got me again. No, actually, so first appeared in Ocarina of Time. So she disguised herself as Sheik to help escape Ganondorf. And in the Hyrule Warriors universe, which is kind of where we're pulling some of our source material from, it's to help disguise herself from enemies. First appeared in Ocarina of Time in November of 1998. And he helped, I say he because canonically Sheik is a male, designed to hide Princess Zelda, and help guide Link through the story by teaching him a lot of the songs that help you to get through like certain dungeons or do certain attacks or certain powers or things like that. So very, very imperative to the Ocarina of Time story.
I have a question. I know you're a big Link fan, big Zelda fan.
It can be.
Is Ganon that dumb that he's like, oh, that can't be Zelda?
Well, I mean,
Link didn't notice it either.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like,
That dumb, though.
like that's the whole idea is like it's to fool everybody. Like, because Link doesn't know, like nobody knows. Everybody's knowledge, like Zelda is just missing.
I mean, the Link that I played kept dying, so not very smart Link.
Smart Link. Link is very smart. It sounds
Maybe
like
it's player control.
Now just imagine around every cutscene you have Sheik just holding her head, like, oh my god, this guy's so dumb.
Yeah, you hear Link, and Sheik's just face palming and like,
You're a great
Is
hero.
the guy that's supposed to take down Ganondorf?
I smell a good Easter egg. Just
My
like, oh my god, we need to stop dying.
But yeah, I mean, dude, like Sheik is like hella cool, and we are making a point to not do Super Smash Bros. So we are, for the sake of Sheik in this, we are kind of pulling a little bit from the Hyrule Warriors game, just because that's where you kind of see a good actual display of like some of the powers and stuff that she holds on to. Boy, did I not know. I've always wanted to play Hyrule Warriors, never really had a chance. So when doing my research for this, I was like, that's like, dude, she's dope, dude.
Kind of
She's so
want to play Hyrule
dope.
Warriors now.
Yeah. But yeah, unless you guys have anything else to add, there's unless do you have anything to add for Sheikah's like backstory wise at the very least?
Yeah, so Sheik, aka Zelda, is the mortal avatar of Hyria, who is the goddess of protection over the realm of Hyrule. It might be Hylia. I might be screwing that up. But
It's okay. We do it all the time.
Yeah, so
It's Hyria.
you're Hyria. Okay,
Yeah.
I got it right the first time. Okay. I don't want to be like eviscerated in the comment section. So
That's okay. We purposely mistake
Or by Carson.
like
No, man, it's all cool. Whatever.
he's retired. No, so she's a mortal avatar of a god, effectively of protection, and holds one of the pieces of the Triforce, which is, I think, something we can talk about more later in the powers and stuff. But
Yeah.
she holds the the Triforce of Wisdom.
correct.
Mhm.
Which is why she's so disappointed in Link when I play Link.
Yeah.
Because she's way smarter than me.
4 shots to get down to his level.
I'm hurting, guys.
Yeah.
This is not just about you. I died a ton of times, Link did. We're all there in the death charts.
It's all those stupid chickens. I tried to jump the gaps with the chicken. You don't
For
break the
me,
gap.
in the newer games, it's just thinking like, oh, I can get to the top of that cliff, no problem. And then the stamina's in the red, and I'm just like, no.
I can do it. It starts raining. Yeah.
Oh God.
You're like, no, I can't climb.
This is not Skyrim. You cannot get up a mountain on a horse.
I am Alex Honnold.
I don't know much about Sheik, so this is going to be really interesting to kind of do a deep dive onto his abilities and stuff when we get into the fight.
Yeah.
Or when we get into the realms.
I think that's really where the meat of Sheik is like in their abilities and stuff like that. So.
Yeah. I will say that I was underestimating them.
Mm-hmm.
Is all I'm going to say.
The underdog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe not.
Maybe not.
After I started looking
We'll
at
find
them,
out.
maybe not. We'll see.
We'll find out.
We'll see. Could be completely wrong.
I think this is a fantastic matchup. Like, this is like
Yeah.
a mirror image of each other. It's going to be great.
It's funny because we were talking about like we put the fight together, and then Jim and I kind of looked like, is this going to be
A wash.
Yeah. And then, we just started looking into it deeper, and we're like, I think we'll be all right. So now you know Sheik a little bit. You'll find out more about them in
Round one.
round one. So until then, let's head back to the weigh station where John is standing by with our second competitor of the night.
Now stepping up to the scale, Gamora. Gamora weighs in at 170 pounds, standing 6 feet tall.
So Gamora is our competitor against Sheik, and I have a few facts about Gamora, and I think it's really interesting. She's known as the most dangerous woman in the galaxy, and I think there's a pretty good repertoire as to why she has that title.
Oh, absolutely.
First appearing in Strange Tales number 180 in June 1975, which also featured Adam Warlock, which is aside from Guardians of the Galaxy 3, he's a character that didn't really get a lot of, he's not as well known as some of the other ones.
No, he was actually the first iteration to take down Thanos before Marvel switched over to Captain Marvel as being the big hero of the Infinity Gauntlet saga. At the time, it was Adam Warlock, who has kind of always been the douchebag.
I was gonna say, in the third Guardians, he didn't seem that strong to me.
Yeah, no, he's up there, but yeah. Anyways,
I think they powered down a lot of the characters in the MCU, but Gamora was supposed to be made to be his opposite in the comics. And what have you.
Okay,
So,
gotcha.
okay.
I know he's in the Guardians of the Galaxy game, and he's pretty strong in the game, for what it's worth. She was created by Jim Starlin, who also created Thanos. So, like father, like
Daughter.
adopted daughter.
Yeah.
He also wrote the Infinity Gauntlet story that the MCU, Phase 1 of the MCU is based off of.
Yeah.
Phase 1?
Phase 1 through
3.
4 or something like that. 1 through 3. Yeah, the
Okay.
first it's their big
The
their
big
first
arc,
big story
yeah.
arc. Yeah.
Endgame was the cap off of Phase 3. So
Yes. Yep. I always forget where that line was
In game?
in game, where Phase 3 and Phase 4 was, in terms
it's
of
called End Game. Like it's the end of the game.
Yeah, but then there's a whole another part of the game after that that's currently happening.
yeah, in the way of a few TV shows.
Into the first game. On to the second game. So Gamora is the adopted daughter of Thanos. We already kind of covered that. She was trained under Thanos to become an elite assassin, which I think she excelled at. Her body was also mechanically improved by Thanos, which I thought was really fascinating.
Both her and her sister Nebula.
Yep.
Yeah. And you think Nebula because, especially in the MCU, she's very robotic and stuff. I did not know that about Gamora, personally. So
It's just she was always better than Nebula. So Nebula always had a few more enhancements that were done to her. So that's why she became kind of a little bit more robotic, because it was always to try to make her better to be like her sister Gamora. And that was always a contention point between them two.
And speaking of Nebula, she's a part of the Guardians of the Galaxy, as well as Gamora, with Star-Lord, Drax the Destroyer, Rocket Raccoon, and Groot, and Mantis.
That is the current, MCU Guardians.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's how comic accurate that is currently, but it's the MCU one, what most people probably know at this point.
current GOTG.
Yeah.
Sean, do you have any input on Gamora?
Yeah, just to echo what you were saying about her implants and what have you, her mechanical implants are almost magical in their ability. I mean, she has healing factors, she has supernatural speed and strength. You were saying the Adam Warlock thing. She was meant to be his par. So, she's gymnast, assassin, Supergirl style.
She's a space ninja.
Yeah.
See, that's wild.
Yeah. Part of the space Chicas.
That's wild because
The speakers.
the only thing implants do here get you more OnlyFans followers.
Come on.
He was sitting on it. He was sitting on that one for a minute.
It's stewing in there. What's wrong with
when's
you?
the right time?
I followed OnlyFans of a person that can lift 25 tons.
And kill you with one strike.
Yeah.
Maybe that's your kink. I don't know.
We do not kink shame here.
It's open. Yeah, so... Oh, and I think the coolest fact about Gamora is that she's green. I bet you guys didn't know.
He thought it was going to be funnier
That's
than
actually
what it was.
new. I was not aware.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
You're trying to pull a bug fact.
Swing and miss.
Yeah.
We should have had her up against Shrek.
Guardians of the Green.
God.
So now you know Gamora, and we are ready to head to the ring as soon as we hear from tonight's sponsor. So as soon as we're done with that, we will see you back in the ring for the fight. Or not the ring. We'll see you
The
in the CFN arena for the fight.
Hey, you there. Yeah. You with the outfit and very much visible no matter how still you stand. You've heard of the Guardians of the Galaxy, haven't you? You know, the ragtag group of vagabonds dancing to 80s music that is led by Star Prince? No, sorry. It's Star-Lord. Well, you're in luck. He and the Talking Rabbit are giving pilot lessons for the Milano. You heard right. Flying lessons. You too can cruise the star systems and visit nowhere with a giant humanoid plant thing that only says 3 words just like them. Find the nearest Nova Corps member to book your training today. Nova Corps, the Guardians of the Galaxy, will not be held responsible for any mishaps with Mad Titans, cosmic energy crystals, or loss of dance competitions. Special rules apply. See disclaimer for details.
So John has taken his place in the middle of the arena, and he is now ready to introduce tonight's fighters. So without further ado, let's send it down to John.
Introducing first, a Sheikah from the land of Hyrule. He is actually Princess Zelda in disguise, the avatar of the goddess of Hylia from the Legend of Zelda universe, Sheik! And their opponent, from the Guardians of the Galaxy universe, elite assassin and adopted daughter of the Mad Titan Thanos. She is the last of the Zen Wilberis, Gamora!
So round 1 has come, and we are talking about Sheik. Jim, I know you led on some backstory and stuff. Do you have any input on? I was going to say Mr. Sheik, but I don't know what to say. Now I'm stopped in my tracks.
Yeah, I mean, I have quite a bit to start with. I mean, the biggest thing that they've got at their disposal is going to be like their kunai that they use a lot. You know, obviously they're a ninja race, so they do a lot of kunai. They have a lot of agility. Some of her agility was described when I was doing my research was like breakdance like moves that like, you know, combo slash and stuff like that. But anyways, yeah, she uses a kunai as her main form of like physical attack. Then she does have a harp that she uses for a lot of her magic based attacks, and that she uses to play the songs that she taught to Link and such. So, you know, kind of got some basics: fire, water, darkness, I guess is what you would probably call it. That was kind of like one of those weird ones for me. It was like darkness, shadow. Yeah, probably shadow would probably be the best way to do it. Lightning, you know, just your core elements that that she can use in a lot of defensive and offensive ways, which I think is really super neat.
I think the biggest thing that's going to come into play here is the harp.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to harp on it, but
come on.
Come on, I had to make up for my earlier debacle. I didn't, but I did. So, yeah, I mean, she has, like you said, pretty much all ninja attire, shurikens, kunai.
Smoke bombs.
She's also got the bow, too. The bow of light arrows.
She does.
That's a huge advantage in here.
That is right, yeah. But she also has the elemental abilities, too. So, you know, she's able to play off of.
It's really interesting the way that she combos it, because like it's there was a couple of things that I did leave out of here because it doesn't really pertain to like a real like world kind of fight. Like I know one of the things she has like is her light ability, which like in Hybrid Warriors allows you to build up like a stamina meter for like special attacks and things like that. So it's kind of weird, but in the world of this, I like to assume that she doesn't need to use the power first before being able to play the song. Like she just is able to play her song and do like unleash like a massive like wall of like, which one's the wall? I don't remember the wall. So I was thinking like the water barrier that surrounds her is kind of like a constant swirling water that helps push enemies away or like stuff like that. So which I think is really fascinating.
One other thing, aside from so Gamora's got the whole ninja gymnast assassin thing, but Sheik also is associated with Nairu, which is the goddess of the Wisdom Triforce, and she's effectively the goddess of physics.
Oh,
so she's also
physics.
Yeah, so she's also got like the crazy physics.
It's a good thing we took them away with the gravity.
That's what I was going to ask. Is like which powers and like abilities do you think will most help her in zero gravity?
The magic.
The magic
is going to be huge. I think both of their agility is going to be good because if you bounce off of something, the ability to like control your momentum and what have you is good. But yeah, definitely having a light bow. That's pretty crazy.
Here's my biggest concern.
Light is unaffected by gravity.
Ranged attacks are going to be huge.
Here's my biggest concern with Sheik in zero gravity is she's never been in zero gravity. Like this is like completely uncharted territory for her. Like, you know, and we'll go into a little bit more Gamora. I mean, Gamora's from space, but like, you know, Sheik is used to solid ground. Like she has like a lot of her ninja abilities and stuff like that. So I think that's going to be a huge disadvantage here. But I think she may be quick enough of a learner because she's really adept. Sheik is super adept here. So I think she can pick up pretty quickly how to deal with the change in gravity, if you will.
I know one thing we touched on is that Sheik is Zelda, right? So
What?
Every time.
I wanted to, yeah. It's going to be okay. But I wanted to talk about a couple of like Zelda specific abilities that we can talk about because obviously as Sheik, like Zelda doesn't lose her abilities just because she dresses up as like a ninja or something. But Zelda's able to teleport. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, even in zero gravity, she can teleport from one place to the other. That's pretty big, in my opinion. That's a big strength.
Yeah.
She can
along
use,
with like the smoke bombs and stuff like that. Like,
I mean, she can use a wand to summon fairies. So I mean, the fairies could guide her in zero gravity, like
fairy jet.
just like I was thinking that, or like what's the like a chariot? Like she's just got like two fairies that she's like holding on to.
a chariot.
A fairy.
There it is. That made up for earlier.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, I hate it here.
I had to do it for the one person listening. That's like somebody has to say.
I don't want to do this anymore.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
Yeah, I mean, so her magic abilities, obviously, Sheik has magic abilities. Zelda has just straight up magic abilities. She can use magic blasts as a form of defense.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're talking about Hyrule Warriors, Sheik, they have a rapier. So they have a long sword, or a longer sword than a dagger.
Yeah.
So, you know, it gives them that little bit of extra reach if they get in range.
I still think the zero gravity, I feel like, is going to put her at such a disadvantage for a lot of the stuff that we've kind of talked about with this stuff. So it's like, it's all really like well and good, but how really is her ability to be able to use this stuff in zero gravity going to come into play?
It's funny because when Jim messaged me when he was doing like
Research.
the doc on Sheik, he was like, I can't really find weaknesses for her. And like, I guess we found the one.
Big one.
And then we
Through in zero gravity.
put a stipulation, or throughout gravity, if you will.
Do you have any final thoughts? Anything on?
So she's also got telepathy. So she has a telepathic link with Link.
I was going to say
So that
the
means
telepathic
that
link, if you will.
If she needs some backup, she can always reach out and go, "What should I do?" And he goes, "Hey-ya!" And then she goes, "Okay,
And
that's great."
she knows, yeah. He's a man of few words, that Link.
Listen.
No, that's yeah, I guess she could do that. Reach out to, she's just like, I'm surrounded by idiots.
Yeah, it'll make you go into like a bloodthirsty rage.
Wouldn't you? Like if you had to listen to freaking Navi.
Triforce of Wisdom, I think, is one of her biggest things. The connection to the physics goddess should help her even in zero gravity, and then that bow of light, I think, in zero gravity is her biggest asset. Because if Gamora is not able to dodge around that, then she's got her pinned down.
I think like her biggest thing here is going to be range. We talked about range, and I think that's where it's really going to, because she is super strong. If she can keep Gamora at range, then she's going to have a really good time here tonight.
And Saved by the
damn bell. Dude, the bell guy is still mad.
We can.
From
He's just
last
doing his
time.
job. We can leave him alone.
No, he's mad.
His job.
He's just a little guy.
He has a family to feed.
He's just a little guy.
All the little bell kids.
All the little tinkles.
We'll have you finish your thought once we get into like the actual
The
fight.
fight.
Yeah. There's more to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
We're not done yet.
There's always more, unless there's not.
No, there's not.
All right.
No
Shut her
podcast
down.
over. Bye.
So round one is complete. You have heard strengths and weakness of Sheik. And
Singular.
the only one we could find. The one we had to make up. So that is going to lead us into round two, where we go into Gamora and learn a little bit about her strengths and weaknesses. So Carson already spoiled it. She can lift up to 25 tons.
But only for a premium price.
Not in the free subscription, right? I think that Gamora brings a lot to the table. Obviously, she's we touched on it in her background. She is a elite assassin.
Mm-hmm. Space assassin.
One thing that I found was that, like Wolverine, she has regenerative abilities.
Yep.
Yeah, I actually didn't know.
Huge. We've covered Wolverine before, and he's gotta take a licking to put him down, or else he just keeps on ticking. Is that what you're waiting for?
No, I had this like bub, take a lick, bub.
I mean, the fact that she grew up with Thanos and like trained under this,
madman.
Yeah, I mean, Thanos was in our first episode of Recharged, and we talked about how insanely powerful and stuff he was. You were there? Kinda.
It's gonna be all right, Jim. You're a value member of this team.
I hate it.
So you can only imagine the things that Thanos taught her, in addition to all of the missions that he sent her on and all this stuff and all the experience that she has. We talk about it in fights before. For me, for Gamora, experience is the name of the game. Would you guys agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Completely.
I think it seems kind of like Gamora will be way less thrown by fighting Sheik than Sheik would be by fighting Gamora, right? Because like Gamora's like, I've faced like all kinds of like aliens. And
I was like, we've talked about caliber of enemies a lot.
It's like a ninja from Earth. Yeah, I'll take it.
Gamora is effectively a blender with pretensions of being Zen Warbless. I would say human, but crazy dangerous.
So she's an alien blender? Is that what you're saying?
It's just an alien blender with legs and
a ninja blender.
anger problems.
Oh, wait, that's a company. Now we're getting sued. Cool.
This week's episode is sponsored by.
Disney doesn't come after us for the last episode.
Incredible.
So she's also got a counter to the time or the Triforce as well. She's got the Time Stone. At one point, she had the Time Stone, but she didn't know how to use it. But it gave her precognition and it gave her some telepathic powers. So while Sheik has the ability to like plot out the perfect plan and be wise and what have you, Gamora has the ability to see the future.
She's only allowed to have the glove. We've established.
And her telepathy goes to Thanos, which is much better than, hey.
Oh no!
So Thanos would be like, this is what you got to do.
Yeah.
Don't fail. You'll upset me.
He's like, just snap. She's like, didn't do anything.
Wow, I don't know what worked for me.
She knows 83.4% of the fighting styles in the universe.
Which
That's
is
such a specific number.
it really is, but I actually wanted to
Somebody
talk
argued over that number.
Yeah,
Two
right,
guys
yeah.
in the office were like, no, it's 80, it's 85.
probably
I'll meet you in the middle at 83.4.
my god. But like no, like that. Let's not underplay that too much, because if you think in the scope of like the universe, like the
Right.
entire galaxy,
Right.
83.4 whatever percent, like that's a lot.
Yeah,
dude.
but she doesn't know Neptunian Krav Maga, so.
Like, you don't know that. Yeah. Taught by robot Santa.
That's mostly spitting and swearing anyway.
Yeah.
So.
It's all crotch shots.
Yeah. I believe that's from Uranus.
It's like, what if the one style she didn't know is like professional wrestling? It's like, I'm going to clothesline you. What's that?
Just kayfabe. Yeah.
Gun fu, equilibrium. Focuses too much on knives.
Do an elbow drop. I don't know what that is.
What are you talking about?
That's her weakness. Is the
She doesn't know wrestling.
15.6% that she doesn't know.
Speaking of weakness, actually,
Uh-oh.
I did find a couple weaknesses of her. One is that she cares too much. And that is more for like her guardian family and stuff. Like she puts herself in danger trying to protect them. And
Yeah, you sound like Thanos right now.
You care too much.
I wonder why.
and then if her opponent, Sheik, who can teleport and float and has fairies and all this stuff, can reach her infinity cloak, she can actually have access to all of her weapons.
Interesting.
Which is-
because she keeps all her weapons. Okay, interesting.
So, I mean, is Gamora going to let her get her that close?
Is she gonna try to get that
Yeah,
close?
if I'm Sheik, I stay as far away as
I
possible.
absolutely agree.
She like pulls out a gun. And is like, I have no idea what this is.
It's a light gun.
Just like pulls it and like, oh, that's what it does. Oh my god.
You can have this back. Here you go. I don't need this.
This is scary.
I just punctured the hole. That's bad.
Guns are scary.
She just shoots somebody in the audience.
Yeah.
Dude, we're getting to like some Indiana Jones territory now, where I imagine Gamora, like Sheik is like doing all this stuff with their kunai and stuff, and Gamora is just like, and it just shoots her with like a laser from space, and that's it.
See, I would counter that because I would say the magic barrier could deflect bullets.
Yeah.
But that's
What about lasers?
lasers.
She's a fire and a laser.
A couple. So you talked about caliber of enemies a little bit. I put
Space people.
some feats of strength, which also plays into caliber of enemies for Gamora. She has knocked out She-Hulk.
Which is she's a Hulk, so
Yeah.
it's huge.
Oh, is that?
Huge.
She-Hulk.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it was Shulk.
She that's a different game.
Um,
I thought we were talking about Sheik, not She-Hulk. All
Yeah.
right, never mind. You can cut that.
I have a question.
Don't cut that.
I have a question.
I like to
Two
see
more
you.
until
I like
it
to see you
gets
fail too.
I have a question. Is Cyclops considered an Omega level mutant?
I don't think so.
Okay,
No,
I was
I
just wondering. One of her feats of strength they put down was she defeats Cyclops. So I don't know if that's really like a big thing to brag
Just gotta
about.
poke a dude in his eye and he's done. Like,
Yeah. She drew blood from Captain Marvel,
Okay.
which
Do you bleed?
All that for a drop of blood.
there was an issue where Drax swallowed a power gem and she kicked him in the stomach so hard that he threw up the power gem.
My God.
And then I know Zelda or Sheik, excuse me. Sheik is not a
What?
Every time he does it, he looks into the camera like, that's so Raven.
I like to think The Office. Thank you very much.
I'm like Zelda. Sheik is not a human, but you know what? Gamora also didn't defeat an entire army, including tanks, in less than 10 minutes.
Which I think is pretty wild.
It's
Yeah.
pretty
Like,
wild,
that's
yeah.
pretty insane for.
I can do that.
I mean,
Yeah,
us
right?
as humans compared to them are pretty weak, though.
Yeah.
Like, let's be real.
It's amazing how we're at top of the food chain. Even here.
Good thing they're not real. We'd be screwed. Any strengths, weaknesses?
I want to know the state of that military. Were they out drinking last night? Were they in patrol? Were they firing blanks? So maybe it was a maneuver or something? I don't know.
If they
She
were a
gave
American
it the Swiss military.
It was a military of toads. It was like the toad force from the Mushroom Kingdom.
the banana guard.
While Gamora's good with range, and going back to what we were talking about earlier, her biggest thing is up close weaponry. She really likes blades, and between that and the time stone and her regenerative ability, I think those are her strengths here.
Yeah, and then kind of going a little bit, I wanted to piggyback a little bit on the weakness side of it, as you had mentioned, Josh, about her like caring too much, and it's like mostly in terms of like her guardian's family. I think this kind of goes.
Did you say she's caring too much?
Yes. Yeah, she's got like the bob
Like to speak to
haircut.
the manager.
Yeah. The manager's Thanos.
Excuse me, my fight has
Yeah.
gone bad. It's like a refund.
The fight has gone bad. But no, like I think here that weakness is kind of. I'm just gonna say kind of moot, just because
It
it's
is,
not
yeah.
really like.
And that's
her
what I said,
family,
it's mainly
really
for her guardian's
dangerous.
family.
Yeah.
Again,
Well,
it's
then it's like, are we saying Zelda doesn't care? I feel like
Yeah,
she's also a very caring person.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, not to say that Zelda's
But
heartless,
she, on
but
the
Yeah.
other hand,
It's the opposite
She's
of
like
like.
a bastard.
once you put on that that's her ninja way.
Yeah. Her ninja way. Oh my god.
Her Nindo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have too much to say on
I think we
on
kind of
Gamora.
covered a lot. Like, I think again, like the meat of this battle is really going to be these two going at it here.
I guess the last thing that I could throw out is something that we didn't really touch on. We talked about how she is Guardians of the Galaxy. She's in Guardians
She
of the
is
Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy. She is the Guardians of the
She,
Galaxy.
don't need all those other people.
Yeah, right.
Probably don't actually.
Defeat a whole army.
She is in Guardians of the Galaxy, but you also have to think that she trains with them as well. So she's
She does.
also furthering her. You
Yeah,
know, they all have
already,
their
like-
own follower, you know.
The fate
Yeah.
might be holding her back. I've seen Drax fight.
Well, you've seen him?
Well, then she learned what not to do.
Don't run face first into the enemy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's like, don't start taking notes. Like, don't do that.
They're both like, both of them are just like, I'm surrounded by idiots.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I think these characters like mirror images of each other.
Yeah.
Like, you have the agent of destruction raised by Thanos, and then the protector of the realm versus evil on the other
Yeah.
side. That's
But they're both.
I do also think it's interesting you brought up that Gamora's biggest strength is her in-close melee ability, and Sheik's ability is their bow. So it's like
Distance,
they're
yeah.
it's like someone either they have to get in close and well, maybe not, but
well, you know.
not if she can help it. But
Yeah.
I think that's Gamora's biggest thing is try to get up close.
yeah. So that's going to do it for round 2. You have heard about Gamora, strengths and weaknesses, and that's going to take us into tonight's fight. So let's do it. So now we throw these two into the arena together, and we talk about
Go.
who would come out on top.
Two things.
Who would come out on top and why? And I think if I'm not going to make a decision yet, because we'll do that at the end. But I think I think we kind of touched on it with Gamora or in one of the rounds is that Sheik has to keep Gamora at bay. I think that is a big
Yes.
thing.
Absolutely.
I think if Gamora gets in, it's bad news for Sheik.
100%.
Absolutely. I agree. But again, kind of going into it, I think in this case here, despite like everything we kind of said about Sheik, I think Gamora is going to have the upper hand by, being from space and like being familiar with situations like zero gravity or low gravity or,
She's probably from a planet, though, right?
yeah, but I mean,
She
she's
is.
all
From
over space. So it's like, but if you're flying through like,
I can count like 3 times in the movies alone that she's been in zero gravity.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, she's like, versus like, Sheik is going to be a little kind of taken aback by it, I think, at first. And she's going to kind of not really know what to do. And
do you think that Sheik is adaptive enough to be able to?
Yes, but is she adaptive enough, quick enough, though?
I would say that between the Triforce of Wisdom, which gives her intelligence and planning ability and stuff like that.
This is true. I keep forgetting about
and that one being, again, associated with Nehru, which is the goddess of physics.
Yeah.
Like those two, that makes her adaptable. That gives her the balance against the gymnast assassin from space.
This is very true. So, yeah, it's a matter of is she adapted enough quick enough?
Yeah.
Because if you're more getting close.
Well, I think his point was like with those two things combined, like
with their powers combined.
Yeah.
Yes, that is very true. That is very true. Yeah.
Now let's argue against myself here. So then you have Gamora, who's got the precog sense from the Time Stone, and all of a sudden now she's seeing what Sheik's about to do and is able to compensate for it. Now is she able to compensate fast enough for what Sheik's doing with the Triforce?
Bring it back around to my point. Is Sheik able to adapt enough quick enough? Yeah. Is Sheik able to adapt quick enough? Let's not like underplay like her magical abilities with the harp, because even if she can't actually like, if she's trying to figure out how to like float around and stuff, if like take away like kind of like the Triforce and stuff like that, and like kind of boil it down to like just strength versus strength in this case here, is like, like going back to her use of magic and just what she can really do with that. And if she figures out how to move and kind of intertwine that with some of her ninja abilities and her slashes and stuff that she does. I mean, she's able to drop literal fireballs on like straight down at her opponent, which you don't necessarily need like, gravity to move the fireball down, which, she can like then kind of combo into something that produces like a large explosion like directly underneath her. So I think she fully has the ability to kind of knock Gamora around just like purely from a distance with like
Keep
magic.
on her toes.
Yeah, which I don't know if Gamora is going to be able to really handle.
I know there's a lot of magic
as well
in comics and in like, like the cosmic sort of comics. There's a lot of magic and stuff. Does she often go up against like literal sorcerers?
She has, yes.
Yeah.
Like Strange and stuff.
So Gamora was trained by Thanos, as Josh pointed out earlier, and Thanos is an agent of destruction. Between MCU or comics, whichever, he is trying to kill half the universe, right? And he trained Gamora up to be basically his right hand and do all this stuff against all these crazy enemies. Then you got the mortal embodiment of Hylia. I did say it wrong earlier. Who is the?
It is Hylia.
It is
Oh,
Hylia.
I even corrected you incorrectly.
It's cool. Hey,
Well,
it's all
actually,
cool. We can all just make mistakes and it's all fine. All
I
right.
don't like this newer, nicer. I didn't even the previous one, but I don't like this one.
I don't like it.
I'm keeping you on your toes. You're never going to know which Carson you're getting.
No! I'm going to need you to smack somebody down by the end of this. Otherwise, I don't even care if it's me. But yeah, against like somebody who's designed to be a protector against this very type of evil force. So it's the unstoppable force, immovable object argument.
So that kind of comes into what you were saying earlier about her having kind of an experience advantage, just in terms of like she's seen it all. She's gone up against every kind of opponent.
One of the feats of strength for Zelda personally is that she's sealed Ganon away in the Hyrule Castle for 100 years. And Ganon is pretty powerful. Like he's constantly coming back.
He's the big bad. I mean,
yeah. So, I mean, she's gone up against someone like Ganon. Would Ganon be comparable to Thanos?
So Ganos or Thanos?
That would be a
hell
of a
what a couple.
I was going to say, if you rearrange the letters in Ganondorf, you get Gamora.
So
just like you throw out like the rest of the letters.
apparently I have to use smaller words.
Ganon
have Triforce of power.
It was like we're very short-sighted here.
Yeah.
So, would Ganon be comparable to Thanos? And I know that's a hard question, but
I'm
like
not prepared to answer that question. I have to do the research.
totally fair.
My instinct says no.
The only reason I ask is she's got up someone like Ganon. Not
I guess it depends
not
on,
necessarily
like-
directly.
I haven't gotten to him in Tears of the Kingdom yet, so I can't answer that question either.
Yeah.
I'm focused mostly on finding
very,
outfits.
I don't know.
But you played the other previous games, Jim, so you know Ganon or Ganondorf or whoever.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it really depends because like I'm trying to remember back to like, you know, what iteration like Sheik, because like you have like so many different ones, like obviously like Blight Ganon, you know, and like stuff like that is a much different Ganon than like, you know.
So it's an impossible comparison.
It's kind of a weird comparison.
They're
to
also
make
meant to be equals and balancing each other. Like the three of them are different parts of the Triforce, and they literally are supposed to balance the world.
Yeah.
So they're equal.
Okay.
I think that Sheik, you know, I don't think she'd be as taken aback as you guys are making it out to be.
No.
Because she has gone up against, you know, she has seen people.
Yeah,
like
I mean, you
Ganon
can't say
in
like, yeah,
different
you
iterations
like
of
you can
Ganon.
definitely say like Ganon is a very worthy opponent in this case, where it's like somebody like Gamora is probably going to be like. It's going to be familiar in a way to something that she's fought before, that she's dealt with. It's just, you know, it's just a space version of another like ninja that she's probably fought in some case.
I
Like
feel like
obviously,
Zelda's
like
also not one to underestimate her opponent.
correct. She's very
She's been
smart.
captured enough.
She's very smart.
I really think the most dangerous part of this fight is the two of them rolling their eyes together at their respective others outside.
Oh god, yeah.
Realizing how similar they are and going out
Star-Lord and Link
This
just be
fight.
like,
It's like we're done fighting. We're just gonna
Oh my
stitch and
God.
fuzz and
It's a
throw.
draw.
Yes, this fight ends in a draw because they're both like, what? You're surrounded by idiots too? Me too. Like,
you're so relatable.
how do you know that name?
Let's go to Sephora.
Yeah. Oh god, come on.
Mine says "yeah" all the time. Mine
Yeah.
says Star-Lord.
One thing I wanted to bring up for Sheik also, because I know we touched on Gamora, and I can, you know, you guys can touch on Gamora some more. I'm not trying to highlight Sheik, but Freudian slip.
Yeah, all of us had the same joke.
We
in our
did.
head. All of us were like, nope.
Yeah, because I know Carson and I like
I
made
was
like
like- I was
contact
like,
slip down.
I
We're like,
Part three, I saw you
Respect.
guys. You're doing a great job.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
no, that's not your fault. That's all of ours for like having that like bad thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah.
But congratulations to us for not saying it. You know, I think we've grown as people.
So, not only, you know, we touched on some weapons that Sheik has, but you talked about the Hyrule Warriors Sheik, which is kind of the one that we were basing the
Yeah, like
main
the
Sheik
power sets
abilities
and stuff
off
off
of.
of. Yeah.
She also has a baton, which has lightning abilities. And if she gets really powered up and really, I'm assuming angry or whatever, she has a special attack that summons 8 tornadoes at the enemies and then knocks them away with an updraft.
Yeah.
Which is great in zero gravity.
It's insane how much like because
Eight seems like too many tornadoes. All right.
But
How about 83.4?
or not enough. Yeah, there you go. That's a perfect number. So I mean, she has a lot of like offensive and defensive capabilities on her own because she does have like another kind of special force attack that like creates a large circle that sends waves out and pushes and pulls enemies in. So it's kind of like a vibrating wave in and out. So it's like, I think this is kind of what I was talking about. Gamora's going to get knocked around a little bit because she's going to get hit with some of these forceful waves that's going to push her and pull her. And she's not going to be able to, for lack of a better term, get her feet like underneath her, like in this case.
see, you made the joke, Sean, about, well, that's going to work in zero gravity. But if you get pushed in zero gravity, you're not stopping until you hit something.
Oh, I was serious. Like that's
Oh,
actually
okay.
a huge advantage. Like tornado, fireball, like what Jim was mentioning earlier, and now this push pull thing, which I didn't even know about. Yeah, that's huge because Gamora like leaps off something like expert dexterity, and all
And
of a
then you
sudden,
just push back again, yeah.
now you're getting thrown to the other side of the arena.
Sheik is going to be incredibly good at keeping Gamora at a distance. And Gamora is going to be at a massive disadvantage because she will not be able to get in close, I think, in this case. And this is exactly how I think this fight is going to go. Gamora is not going to know what she's up against. She has faced magic users, but nothing of this caliber.
So, I mean, she's basically an elf, right?
Hylian.
Hyrian. Sorry.
Yeah. We all did it.
Actually,
No!
There it is. Hyrian.
Hylian, yeah.
He finally broke down.
Yeah.
Just like being
he's been
red.
saying the whole time, just like,
I was almost taunting him with that.
I
She's better do it.
I could see the veins starting to like form.
Actually, she's a house elf.
Oh,
So just give her a sock and you win.
Yeah.
Is that-
oh boy.
Zelda is free.
Dude, I was really confused for a second at that voice because I didn't see you say that.
That's what he snuck in, is doing his solo voice.
I was like, what the, like,
I don't know. I totally see your point that she can get pushed around and stuff, but I want to go back to your point about the time stone. With the pushing and the pulling, is she going to be able to see that and anticipate those moves and those attacks?
We also got to take into account all of her implants and such. So I don't know the full extent of it, but effectively she's so mech'd up that she has magical powers herself in the form of science fiction.
Okay.
So the ability she has is able to make Captain Marvel bleed, for instance, which is a
Yeah.
huge feat, and knock out She-Hulk. So between being able to launch herself at supersonic speeds or account for these things, maybe she's got ways to like correct in zero gravity. Who knows? Maybe she borrows Star-Lord's boots. Who knows? But I think pretending that Gamora is not going to be ultimately prepared for a foe like this is doing her a disservice.
well
I agree.
then. Well then.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the zero gravity thing is really hard to well,
Happens to the best of us.
Yeah, right.
that's going to do it for round 3. And now we come to Final Judgment, where we all make our decisions and we have to live with it. And we can't ever change it ever again for the rest of our lives.
I
But-
think that this was an epic matchup, and while there was
Yeah.
some consternation of are they going to be good or bad, like I think that the again that mirror image between Protector of Evil versus the Agent of Death, I think that was such a good pick.
I never in
Yeah.
a million years thought that like I would enjoy this match as much as I
Yeah.
did, but this was like,
All right, so that means it's time for Final Judgment. That means that now we make our decisions.
final saves.
So, Sean, you're our guest of special guest tonight.
Guest of honor.
I'm gonna put you in the spotlight.
All right, so going back to the Battle of Good and Evil, it's a question of offense or defense with a couple different like tweaks here and there. Though I was arguing for Gamora a lot in this, it was because when I was 4 years old, I got that gold video game and just put it into my NES. And since then, I've been a Zelda fan. And whatchamacallit, I stopped playing at Link Before Time. And so when you were like Sheik, and I looked that up, I was like, oh, that's something I didn't know. And so now I have to go back and play all these video games. But yeah, I think
You're welcome.
if I don't get my fairy tale draw where they walk off and complain to each other about their significant others and how their eyes roll out of their head all the time because they're the smartest person in the room, then I got to give it to Sheik.
Interesting. All right.
Defense
Carson.
wins the game.
You've
Well, I'm
been
gonna.
very active this episode.
To be honest, a lot of this I'm just learning along with the audience. This wasn't one that I was super prepared for. So based on the conversation that we had throughout, I don't know. It's hard to imagine Gamora losing to anybody, if I'm being honest. And I think I'm gonna go
You've seen Infinity
Gamora.
War, right?
No, what happens?
Well, it's amazing. It's amazing that she's in Infinity War and then not in Endgame. So
I thought they were just sidelining her for a Disney Plus series. Well, it gets her dad. Everybody loses to their dad.
yeah.
I'm personally going to go Gamora, though. I think just experience and general readiness for any kind of fight, I think, puts me in her corner.
Yeah, we didn't talk about the Power Stone, like the Time Stone, and that really threw me for a loop on that one. So good curveball.
So I literally like had them lined up with like combat ability equals this all equal down the line. Then Time Stone and Triforce were right next to each other. Like every single thing was balanced. It was a beautiful
Yeah,
matchup.
it's so good. And that's why,
Jim, I'm gonna put you on the pedestal.
yes, I will disagree with Carson and agree with Sean here. Is I definitely think that Sheik, in this case, just with the magic at her disposal and the fact that if this was not in zero gravity, I think this would be a different fight. Because I think Gamora could probably counteract some of the stuff a little bit better, but just the sheer force of being able to like throw people around and like move them without them like and pushing and pulling and doing all that stuff and keeping enemies at a distance, I think is going to be pretty big here. Gamora's going to have a hard time getting in close, and I think for me, Sheik's going to take it because of that.
All right. I guess on the. This is gonna be weird.
You're the even man in, yeah.
I was like, I'm either gonna throw this more off balance or I'm gonna even it out.
You have an opportunity here. If you vote for Gamora, we have a draw. And this is they can go have their drinks.
This is
and
a
complain about
perfect
this.
balance.
But vote with your heart.
Yeah, seriously.
Funny you say that, Sean, because I'm actually going Gamora.
Sweet, I got my fairy tale
dude, I
ending.
love
This
it.
is the best night
Josh and
ever.
I finally agree. I knew
I was
what
gonna
happened.
say, yep. I'm only doing it to agree with you. No, I'm just kidding.
Actually.
No, I think that Gamora, like you brought up some good points, like with the time stone, and then you threw in the thing at the very end of round 3 about her moving at supersonic speeds. And I think that all the push and pull abilities that Sheik is going to throw at her, she's going to be able to get out of the way. She can dodge attacks from Thanos, which is insane. She's battled Adam Warlock, who you might not know, but he's pretty powerful. So, I mean, she's had worthy foes. Whereas Sheik, when you pull back the curtain, it's Zelda.
Gets better every time.
Into the future.
That sucks because I was like really going at it. I was like, it is deep. I was like, here's my reasoning.
Jim doesn't want you to have anything nice.
He's like, he's doing
That's what
good.
our
He's
whole
doing.
friendship is based off of, dude. It's like,
The motto of my household is as long as someone gets hurt.
He's like, he's doing well. I have to derail him.
I was waiting for my opportunity to do that again. I was hoping that it would come up again.
So, but Zelda has been captured how many times? Gamora.
Is dead? I'm sorry.
I mean, the nerfed MCU version.
Yeah.
I'm totally kidding. I see where you're
and I
coming
mean,
from.
that's just like,
Just
this person
a
was
story.
captured and this wasn't.
Yeah.
Not giving any context as to
Yeah.
how they were captured or anything like that. But
Correct.
you talk about she's the damsel in distress, like we talked about with Peach in the episode. So it's hard to put a damsel in distress up against an elite space assassin.
Yeah.
And again, like you said on Gamora, for Sheik, I might be doing her a disservice of saying that. But that's just my bottom line, black and white, is
Oh, my nerd rage is being subsumed, right? Like it's being pressed back.
You kind of have to on this show. You kind of have
I
to.
have so many counters, but it's your
Yeah.
platform.
Yeah. This is why we make it final
So-
say.
Yep. And this is why we want the
To hear from
internet to
you.
tell us why we're wrong.
Because that's what they do best.
It's literally their job. They get paid to tell us why we're wrong. They have families to feed, right, Carson? Little internet babies.
Yeah, millions of them.
So I want to thank Sean for joining us tonight.
You got it much quicker that time. I'm proud of you.
I kind of knew where I was going that time. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having
It
me.
was a blast. And you have a project right now that is on Kickstarter, right?
I do. Survivors, a Dystopia Rising game. It's a board game for 1 to 5 people, cooperative, over 100 stories that you can explore. Basically, you're racing away from your settlement that got overrun by zombies, and you're trying to find a new place to settle up while you're conserving resources and experiencing a bunch of tragedy and threats in the waste.
Amazing.
Very cool.
Cool.
That sounds amazing.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
It's active on Kickstarter now, so go back it. Get him. Let's get this game.
Awesome. Thank you.
So again, thank you to Sean for joining us tonight. Go ahead and head over to the CFN Fan Stand group on Facebook, where we will be posting a picture of the fight and a poll for you to cast your vote and unbalance this tea party that they're having, this coffee date. That
Guys, try to
they're
keep
doing.
it balanced.
Yeah. If it comes out 50-50, I'm going to scream.
Foot massages and mana potions for everyone. Come on, let's do this.
That's going to do it for us here at the CFN Arena. For Jim, Carson, John, our guest Sean, and myself, of course, this has been CFN Recharged. We'll see you next time, and remember, let your characters do the fighting for you. See ya!
Want more fights? Follow us on social media, Instagram, and Twitter at Character Fight and Character Fight Night on Facebook. Use hashtag #FollowTheFight on all social media platforms. Want more action? Join the Character Fight Night Fan Stand Facebook group where we post polls and have discussions on all fights.